Hello everyone, my name is Ark and welcome back to another Marvel Legends figure review. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Black Widow from the Avengers Beyond Earth's Mightiest series that came out a decent while ago and is pretty much the originator of the new female sculpt model for the Marvel Legends figures that there is 3 so far right now. So I was able to find this one. This one is quite expensive nowadays, but I was able to find one for $30 for a good, decent amount. So without further ado, let's take this one out and see how she looks. Alright, so here we have the one that started all, the Black Widow. So, just as a sort of like beginning or initial first thoughts, she looks pretty darn good. Although that face, that head sculpt is not the greatest. But, just to get an idea as to how tall she is around 16 centimeters, or, how long? 6¼ inch. So she is pretty decently tall, which is usual for Marvel Legends. Now, here's how she compares to Captain Marvel. Come on. Everything is going bad. So they're like roughly the same height, to be honest. I feel like all of the female figures are always around the same height, which it's not an issue whatsoever. So yeah, overall, she looks really good. I like it. The dot face printing, the dot printing for the face looks really good. I think the hair having a little bit of a wash does work, but I think the sculpt is not the greatest, to say the least. But overall, it works. The paint job on the actual outfit, while very minimal, where it literally only is on the actual jacket area, works well, and everything else is sculpted beautifully. The arms are very basic, to say the least, but the actual body does have wrinkles throughout, besides the legs. So the legs are just basic molded plastic, just like the Captain Marvel ones, which they're different legs, by the way. They do have a difference between the legs, which is good. Silhouette is very similar though, but you can see how much meatier Captain Marvel's thighs are compared to Black Widow's. So not the biggest issue. I like it. I think it looks good. But yeah, overall looking really good in the aesthetic department. The logo is painted fairly nice, and then the belt is just a loose belt, but it does sit nicely on the actual section of the hips and everything like that. The shooters on her wrist shooters are pretty decent. They look okay. But yeah, overall, good looking figure. I don't dislike it. I think it looks fine. And especially for the first sort of like round where she actually has an abdomen crunch, then I think it looks good. Now, for the articulation. Now, this figure should have pretty much the same articulation as the previous 2 figures that we've looked at, so I'm not going to take too much time here. So looking down about that far, looking up, pretty decent. Disc hinge on the neck, which is fine. Looking side to side, no rocking motion whatsoever, which sucks, but it's fine. Higher than a T-pose for these arms, which is good. You can rotate them 360 degrees. You can use a bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, which sometimes works. You just have to sort of play around with it. There we go. So you can get a really good range of motion with that elbow joint. And then of course we have disc hinge wrist, which is fine, to say the least. For the actual chest section, you can swivel side to side. That didn't sound good, but don't worry. You can, without the actual ab crunch, you can look down about that far, look forward about that far, or upward. With the actual ab crunch, you actually get a lot of range. We do have kind of like that weird section right here that just looks weird, to say the least. And then going backwards, very good. Lovely. Splits, pretty decent, not perfect, but they work well. Thigh swivel. Double jointed knee, which works wonderfully. Although I do think that sort of the proportions look a little bit off, but you can make it look right, to say the least. And then, of course, we have a disc hinge for the foot and a little bit of pivoting motion side to side. So overall, pretty decent figure. It's a good figure, to say the least. The Captain Marvel was a really good one. The Phoenix figure was also a really good one. So this is good to just have already, especially since it's the first one that came out. So moving on, let's go into the accessories, because she actually has quite a lot of accessories, surprisingly more than the other two. So let's take a look at those real quick. Alright, so the accessories do not disappoint for this figure whatsoever. It definitely has the most accessories compared to the two that released after this one, so it is quite surprising. So starting off, we do have two different head sculpts, one of them being where her hair is swept to the side with the very long hair. This one is probably my favorite one. They all look really good in terms of the dot printing. They look amazing, and they have a little bit of like shadowing and everything like that. Very good. This is like the realistic sort of still comic book like that still looks good, unlike that Phoenix one, in my opinion. Then we also have sort of like more of a mom look, more of a disguised look, where her hair, she has bangs in the front, and it looks good. The motion of the hair also looks different. Very nicely done. The wash on this hair looks beautiful as well. And again, the dot printing, perfect. I just kind of wish that instead of the faces, we could like swap out the faces as well, like just remove them, but it's fine. Doesn't have to be that way. We do have a little gun. We have technically two, but this is one, the basic one. It looks fine. No painted details whatsoever, which is fine. I don't care. And we have the same gun with a silencer on this one, which does come with additional accessories for this specific weapon. We have two of the wrist shooters with smoke effects, where it's like, oh, you finish attacking, they're going to smoke out a little bit. And we have two attacking different ones as well, where you're attacking from them, which they look really good in my opinion. Two fists, of course, we have fists, why wouldn't we? It's a great addition. Two weapon holding hands, of course. And we have two smoke effects for that silencer weapon. And also two different blast effects for the weapons as well. You can put them on both of them too, so you can have one shooting and then another one sort of like reloading or anything like that. Just to show you real quick, if I can get it right. Come on, there we go. So they look really nice with the effects on. I'll try to have some good pictures with those, but overall, leading into my final thoughts, this figure is amazing, and it's near perfect as well. Honestly, I think it's a perfect figure because of the amount of accessories that she comes with. The original price that she was, I'm pretty sure she was a Target exclusive here in the United States, but I was able to find this in Mexico, so probably wasn't as exclusive as it should be. In my opinion, it shouldn't have been an exclusive, but it looks really nice. So overall, I'm going to give this a figure a 10 out of 10. And that's really good for Marvel Legends, to say the least. Mostly because of the accessories. The amount of accessories that she comes with is perfect, in my opinion. They could have included a bike, but that would have been overkill in my at this point. But yeah, she is like slightly better than Captain Marvel. It has the exact same body mold and everything in terms of the articulation and all that sort of stuff. So it's not going to have any issues whatsoever. But again, the accessories just do bring her up a notch when it comes to the figure itself. So yeah, that's pretty much all the time I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think about this figure specifically. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you own it? Because I know A lot of people do have this, but at the same time, a lot of people don't. So I would love to know. But besides that, I will see you all on the next one. Bye bye.